Using his pace, a chance to win the game for Hearts. He's done it!
Wayne Foster's killer goal in the Edinburgh derby took Hearts to the Cup quarter-finals, and it may have saved their season. It was followed by the midweek win at Dundee, and an on-field recovery, badly needed, could bring this, the new Tynecastle, a bit closer to reality. Hearts have had a meeting with their bankers and expect to hear next week about the level of financial support. A recruiting boost to their redevelopment subscription scheme, the 500 Club, strengthens their case. Snooker star Stephen Hendry is the latest Hearts fan to pay up his £500. Craig Levine and scheme chairman Alec Kitson collected his contribution. Hendry's pleased Hearts are staying.
I think so. I think it's when the club like that, it's got roots there in Gorgie. You know, it'd be hard to take it away from that and get the same sort of atmosphere. You know, and that's why I think it's important. You know, that they've stayed there.
Hearts had seemed intent on moving. This was the lavish plan for Hermiston. It's 4 years since the Taylor report demanded all-seater stadia for the top clubs. If Hearts had decided to stay then, their new stadium could have been completed by now.
Probably should have been, yeah. I think part of the problem has been the time scale. We started beginning of November, and it should have probably started the November before. But as you say, we were going to Hermiston, Miller Hill. I think there was talk of going to Straighton at one time, and sort of time's catching up on us, you know. So we've had 3 months now to try and get something organised, and fortunately enough, the majority of Hearts supporters are behind us, and things are going fairly well.
I suppose if we've got the perfect science of hindsight, we would have the ability to prejudge the eventual outcome of the planning process, which in Edinburgh took almost 4 years. And in truth, yes, that's 4 years of development time that has been lost. I suppose the other argument might be the region would say that we're not rushing it and we're very much at the tail end, but I think you've got to remember that the club had to prosecute all other reasonable avenues before it reached the stage, which is by no means a worse fit situation to stay at Tynecastle. Many of our fans are delighted that we're staying here, and indeed I'm rather hopeful that when they see the end product, which might not be too far away, the eventual outcome will be very pleasing. Phase 1's the biggest stand that covers the Wheatfield side. It's a stand of almost 6,000 seats, all covered.
This was announced this afternoon by Wallace Mercer. This will be replaced during the summer by a new £2 million all-seated stand, the first phase of the redevelopment to keep pace with the Taylor report. Wallace Mercer said this was one of the greatest days in the history of Hearts.
We will have 11,400 seats and maybe another 3,000 seats. What will physically happen, in fact, is this stand will be completed, okay, by the middle of August. This is the one of 6,000 seats, isn't it, Jim? Yes. Circa. This end will be completely levelled and we'll have a board against it. May or may not happen next season, subject to how quickly we move forward from the funding point of view. That would give us another 3,500 seats. This area here, which is currently the Gorgie Road end, half of that will be a building site, and the other half will have some temporary seating put on it.
The bank approved the plan on the strength of the success of the 500 Club.
950 people have made the effort to pay £500. They have answered the cynics and some of the comments that have been occasionally mentioned in the past. And we now go forward.
Rangers are to stage a glamour pre-season tournament at...
Construction work gets underway at Tynecastle. Chairman Wallace Mercer says the team may have to play its first few games away from home as phase 1 of the all-seater development is completed. Tynecastle is to be extensively modernised over the next 2 years thanks to a cash guarantee from the Bank of Scotland and money generated by a fans subscription scheme. So far, funding has only been guaranteed to build a 6,000-seater stand costing £2.5 million. If phase 2 gets the go-ahead, the stadium will house 18,000 supporters.